The Standing Committee on Public Accounts yesterday heard from Eskom on progress made into investigations that are looking at employees doing business with the power utility. Eskom executives also presented an operational update. The Special Investigating Unit as well as the Hawks were part of the proceedings and gave their own updates. Calvin Rafadi, Bizz Tracers Forensic Investigator, joins us live now for some reaction. Thank you so much, Calvin, for your time. Eskom still sits with the problem of employees that are doing business with the entity, creating massive conflicts of interest. I mean, in some of the cases when you heard in Parliament, the links aren't easily identifiable, with family and friends also conducting work on behalf of the employees. Why do you think the power utility still sits with this problem? Calvin, I'm not sure if you're able to hear me. Your picture was frozen for a second there.
I can hear you, Bongiwe.
Okay, did you hear my question or must I repeat it?
Oh, please repeat it. I didn't hear anything.
Okay, I was just saying that listening to what came out from, the sitting yesterday, Eskom still sits with the problem of employees that are doing business with the entity. And of course, this creates a massive conflict of interest. I mean, when you think and you hear what comes out from the sitting yesterday is that some of the links aren't easily identifiable. You've got family and friends conducting work on behalf of employees. Others are also getting money put, to schools as school fees for the work that they are also doing. So why do you think the power utility is still sitting with this problem?
Yes, thanks for the invite. When you speak of fiscal dumping, because when you speak of sabotage, the reason why there's sabotage at power stations and even in Eskom itself is because of the procurement issues. Now, there's what we call fiscal dumping in terms of your anti-corruption, bribery, and money laundering. So we find it very strange when they say some of the funds, they can't be traced and as if they were paying school fees. So, I mean, even overseas funds, when you speak to people like the Financial Intelligence Center, those type of funds, they can be traced. And we've been singing from 2011. You remember when the president made his first U-turn and the Tutuka power station was at stage 6, load shedding. We've been saying, let all management and employees, they must subject themselves to lifestyle auditing. And we find it very strange when they come out and they say some of the funds, they can't be traced.
Were you shocked, though, to hear the issue of coal, non-compliant coal? I mean, samples being swapped and transported to labs in a truck that is also not fitted with the required tracking device. Were you shocked to hear that?
No, I was not shocked because, you see, when you speak of Eskom, they're lacking what we call a QMS, quality management system, which in turn, they are ISO related and ISO registered company. So they should be knowing that when you speak of quality management services, they must know what they take out and what they put in. I mean, for instance, Eskom, one cannot be shocked that they cannot collect revenue. And why they can't collect revenue, not even because of illegal connection, but because of the old history. There are machines that are out there that are selling electricity offline. And that's why also now we are sitting with the very same problem whereby most of the customers are not buying from Eskom, but Eskom is generating electricity. So you can pump as much money as you want into Eskom, but they cannot collect revenue. And this has been ongoing for a long time, and management is aware, and some of them, they've got their hands in the cookie jar, similar to issues of coal as well.
Yeah, and hearing about the theft of diesel, this boggled my mind because it's diesel stolen from the Kriel power station, and this is, where transporters are said to have colluded with weighbridge clocks to steal the fuel. I mean, these are serious lapses, especially when one looks at the fact that this is a national key point. Why, in your view, is the system at a place that should be so protected, susceptible to this?
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Like I said, there's lack of security at Eskom. And, with Eskom, you don't just need your normal guarding security, because even some of them, they're involved in stealing of the cables and stuff like that. You need what we call security, high-tech security, which deals with business intelligence. So in that space, we are not shocked about the stealing of particular copper or even diesel there and there. Because if you can check on Eskom stats, every power station per week, they report cases of sabotage and stealing of diesels. They report so many cases. I've got some of the spreadsheet of some of the cases that are opened in their nearby power stations.
And you did some work looking at security concerns at Tutuka Power Station. And of course, you were saying in your report that there needs to be more cameras, even saying that alarm systems in storerooms are needed here to provide some kind of security detail as well. And also saying that in some of what you found that some of the employees were removing, some of the cameras that were there in certain points. Looking at where we are right now, do you think there was enough action, speedy action, to try and prevent the crisis that we are in?
No, there's not enough action. Actually, we're still sitting with the same problem. And I heard that the parliament, the deputy president was saying they need to deploy crime intelligence, I think, under the division of SABC. But, for them to deal with such matters of sabotage, they are under-resourced. I mean, look at now, we are waiting for them to give us the feedback of the DNA test of the rape victims in Krugersdorp. And with Eskom, it's a very, very, very complex situation. You need to be on the ground to understand what you are dealing with. And what I would say is, speaking of Tutuka and the cameras in the EMD storage, I mean, some of the cameras even in the power station, they are not monitored by the security themselves at the control room. They are monitored by individual engineers who feel entitled for working at the power station, and they know the power station from the back of their head, and they've been there for years, and they are the ones who are damaging this particular Eskom infrastructures.
I'm sure you've seen reports, of course, linked to this report that, the company you represent has in fact done at the Tutuka Power Station. Eskom saying that this report was done without the knowledge of the executives. I wonder, Calvin, if you're able to tell us who sanctioned the report that you then subsequently did at Tutuka?
Yes. You see, my report was commissioned at the station level. Now, the GM is the one who's liable to oversee the running of the power station. Now, when you go to management at Eskom and you present any information, even whistleblowers, they are scared to go to even the head office or even to report to the forensic, because they cover one another, those people. So they are the spin doctors. They can look for every other opportunities not to say something is sabotage. It's either irregular or human error. But those are the politics at Eskom. They cover one another, and that's how they operate.
And, listening to then what you're saying, these are some serious, some really serious claims that you're making then. Are you saying that this report that you then undertook is credible? And there are also some reports that are suggesting that you may be in a contractual dispute with the power utility. Are you able to share some details on that?
Yes, indeed, I am with them on a contractual dispute. We are in court of what you call the very same issue of the ghost vending machines on an outstanding payment. So, like I say, Eskom is another political organization on its own, hence it's even a national key point. But what I'm saying is, the minute you go and you knock at their door, they are the spin doctors, they look for every opportunity and they cover one another. And I mean, with the current management and the new board, we are going nowhere but slowly.
All right, a very worrying picture you're painting there, Calvin. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, when one reads the report of what you also found there and listening to what came out of Scopa, it's very concerning what we are seeing unfolding at Eskom. Calvin Rafadi, Bizz Tracers Forensic Investigator.